Yes, sir.
And that is a good thing. And we'll begin first with the call to order, which I did, and everybody's present and accounted for. And we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Barb, would you lead us to that, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We were just saying that the arts activities this weekend is going to be moved to November because of all of the rain, etc. But, for us native Floridians, rain is a good thing, just as long as it doesn't come in tornadoes or hurricanes. The minutes from last month on the 3rd of September were distributed for everybody to review. We had the Alzheimer's and Parkinson's Association visit with us last month, Mrs. Peggy Cunningham and Miss Eileen O'Donnell, and they were very gracious and spoke about what they were planning to do. So is there any modifications, adjustments to the last month's minutes for record?
Move that be approved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
No. Very good. Okay, so they'll be placed on record for prosperity. Okay, audience participation. We have no one in the chamber, and so I just want to extend an invitation. If anybody would like to come, you're more than welcome to our monthly meeting, the first Wednesday of the month, and we'd be glad to accommodate you. Okay, new business. We have Miss Vicki Stye. Come on up, please, and tell us a little bit about the tour program.
Good morning. Thank
Good morning.
you for having me.
Thanks.
I am with Day Trippin with Patty and Vicki. And just to tell you a little bit about ourselves, we are doing trips all over the state of Florida. We want to reintroduce people to Florida. And we're also concentrating on Vero Beach in Indian River County because this is a place rich in history. And that is why we're working with the Heritage Center. Now, we're also an LLC. We are bonded. And we are with the state of Florida licensed sellers of travel. We've been in business for over a year, and we both love what we're doing. As you know, the Heritage Center is going to be doing on November 10th the World War II Heritage Tour. First, we're going to start off at the Heritage Center itself, where Rebecca Rickey, who is in the former Navy, she will be talking about our involvement in the Heritage Center and the events they used to hold for the Waves and the Navy men based here. Then we're going to move over to Memorial Island, and that will be a rather solemn event because we will be honoring all those who fell and those who served. And for that, we have Pam Cooper representing it because she's an historian as well as the genealogy. So she's very enthusiastic about this. At 11:30, we're going to go over the Ocean Grill, which was originally Club Mac, and the Windswept, which took care of the Waves who came in, who are, it's not here, but we'll be glad to show it. At 11:45, we're going to have Elizabeth Graves talking about her father, who was a spotter during World War II. Something I didn't know. I have a father who served in World War II. He went overseas. He was an American soldier. He fought in Germany, was wounded, went to France. I'm giving you a little background why I came here. My mother was a French war bride. So I came to the States that way as an infant. But I must tell you, I have never been to a place like Vero Beach, which knows its people so well. It's wonderful. It's like being in a small, big town, and I love it. We're also going to be going past the Orange Apartments, which was used as a base for some of the soldiers, some of the Waves. We're going to go past Victory Boulevard. We're having lunch at C.J. Cannon's, and the reason being, that too has a rich history with our World War II events. And when you go there and you see the little small planes taking off and on, and you have to realize it was a base at one point. And that to me is very exciting because we have some great old pictures showing the old planes that came in and how we were used. Pam will be talking at the airport about our historical markers and the memorial there for, sadly, those who lost their lives training there as well. Then Todd Shear will do a video discussing the history. We'll have a bus drive around the property and return back. We're going to have some really great people on board. We're going to have Eric Menger from the airport, Suzanne Phillips, Elizabeth Graves, and we're asking Wally Schism to join us. We hope he will. He took many of those photographs during World War II here in Vero. We hope he will be there. And we will touch on other wars that were historical here. There was, I didn't even know this myself, the Seminole War was here. Civil War, Union and Confederate blockades. Union and Confederate soldiers are buried here. Spanish-American War, World War I memorials in Sebastian and Memorial Island. We're very enthusiastic about doing things for Heritage Center. It benefits them. This is used as a fundraiser for them, so we're glad to do it. That's why we've been doing some of the Waldo Sexton tours. Also a fascinating personage of Vero Beach, which I've learned a lot about. If you would like, if you don't mind, I would love to leave you our fall schedule as well. I thank you for hearing us out and inviting me to speak here. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to November 10th. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Any questions?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for coming here and sharing with us, because everybody here feels a really close connection with Memorial Island, and the number one responsibility for us is to be good stewards of the island, to make sure that it's kept and respected for everything that's there. And as you were speaking of the airfield and all of the men that were lost in training there, there was a connection between Memorial Island and the airfield as well, because when you talk to Pam, ask her about Densmore II, James Densmore II.
Okay.
His dad was instrumental in the airfield in establishing it and was a Harvard grad, and his son likewise was a Harvard grad that ultimately ended up costing him his life in the Mediterranean. He flew out of Malta for the RAF, but he's one of those 78 men that are honored in the cenotaph area. So there's a great connection, and I'm glad to see that we're getting visibility on the island, but I wanted to have the board just pose any questions that they have in regards to the trip and what it involves with your visit to the island. So.
Let's see, one comment. I guess you'll remind the people visiting that day that the next day is Veterans Day, and the ceremonies will be on Memorial Island.
Absolutely.
And actually that day, November 10th, is the Marine Corps birthday, which might interest some of them as well.
Okay.
How many do you think will be on the island for your stop there?
We do believe that we don't have numbers yet, of course, but we are anticipating at least 50.
Oh, okay.
And also, I do want to make note, I didn't say it in what I spoke to you, but we are very glad to have people who need special assistance. Mm-hmm. We want to invite World War II veterans and veteran of any war that wishes to join us, and some, of course, have suffered grave injuries. So we will be able to accommodate at least 2 wheelchairs that we can bring onto the bus if they cannot walk at all. So we do want to include everyone that we can.
Vicki, I certainly am glad you came, because that's a interesting day's tour.
Yes, it is.
And as you say, there are so many wonderful places in this community. And I'm delighted to know that you're going to have somebody tell about the airplane spotters.
Yes.
Because there were some of us who were teenagers during that particular time, and we were allowed to be airplane spotters.
Right.
In fact, there were a few of us who did it and loved it. We thought it was great. We really didn't understand exactly what all was going on, but that's an interesting little sideline. So
It is. It is. And fascinating to me as well.
I'm
Yes.
glad you added it to your program. So
Thank you.
Ken, anything? Any question?
Sounds like a great time. Thank
It should
you.
be a wonderful day. It will be a wonderful, wonderful day for everyone.
And I'm glad you came because, the other part is when you come, we will have a newly restored World War II monument. So that will be great. And that's just a jam-packed weekend with the Alzheimer's tour that'll be, or a walk and fundraiser on Saturday. Then your tour will be there on Monday. One thing, just operationally, the stand from the city will be already placed on the circle there, which is where we have all of the festivities for Veterans Day. So that will be in place. And I'm not sure if the flags will be up or not, but
They should be.
they will be. Okay, so that'll be nice as well.
I know the flags will be on the bridges.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, right. So
Sometimes they set the little ones up first thing on the 11th.
okay, all right. But I think Pam is aware of a lot of the stories there of the veterans that are on the island. But you just look around and the connection is incredible. I was thinking of the exhibit that's at Round Island as well for the what was the family that went out and saved the men off the ship?
The Johnsons.
Johnson's.
Rhodey Johnson's father, Kip Johnson.
Kip Johnson, that's right. He went out when that tanker was sunk by a German U-boat off the coast, and they recovered the crew off of that and brought them in. So there's a plaque at Round Island that talks about that, as well as all of the obstacles that were in place, because they used the beach as a training area for going into the Pacific.
World War II.
Yeah. And Pam knows about the tales of the Navy coming from Fort Pierce to Vero on the old A1A to visit the waves.
I'm sure they did.
I'm sure you'll hear a great deal. Okay, all right. Well, thank you again.
Thank
One
you
thing,
all.
Tony.
And the city, Rob Slesak and all are just a great link on those tours as well, because they know a great deal. So thanks.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Curtis?
Yeah, Vicki, this is being televised. I didn't hear you put a number out for people that may be interested in it, just to contact you.
Apologize. Okay. You can call me at 772-569-8372. That's for Vicki Stein. Or Rebecca Rickey at the Heritage Center, 772-770-2263. As you do know, they're usually closed on Mondays, but she will be happy to even get back to you on a recording.
And so tell me, as far, you have a large bus that you'll be
Oh, we'll
picking
have a
from?
very large bus.
Okay, and this is like a cruise bus, and they'll meet at the Heritage Center?
We'll meet at the Heritage Center. There's a great deal of parking in back, or Rebecca will direct if there's an overflow. But we should be able to accommodate everyone who wants to go.
Okay, all right.
Good to hear that you encourage Wally Schism to come out. It'd be good to him.
Well, we're encouraging him.
Hopefully he's watching this, and we cordially invite him out.
Well, we would love to have him. Absolutely. And if there's anybody else with input, we'd love to hear from them as well.
All right,
Great.
very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. The next point on the agenda is the Veterans Day for 2014 ceremony. And Curtis is in charge from the Veterans Council. So, Curtis, can you kind of give us some notes there on that?
Yeah, sure. They threw this in my lap. I guess, or as John Michael says, shanghaied me for this.
That's a volunteer.
We're going to, Master of Ceremonies will be Tony Young. Invocations will be done by Chaplain Flick. This year, we normally have the veterans up on stage. This ceremony here is what we're going to do. There's a lot of people in the background that help us out a lot. That don't get, I don't know if they really want the notoriety, but they really do a good job letting us get our word out, doing certain things to help us. So we're going to have those people up there. We're also going to have, I believe, we're having a young lady that her father was killed in the Fort Hood shooting, the second one. She's going to be up on stage also. In fact, they're doing a 5K run in honor of her father for I believe it's for the dogs, for the Warriors dogs. So Ed Britt is going to be our guest speaker. I don't know if you all know him. He's Command Sergeant Major, Special Forces, real interesting gentleman. And everything seems to be going pretty good. We're about 98% done. I just got to make a few more phone calls and a few things. And John Michael, thank you for helping me out while I was gone. I appreciate it.
I brought a draft of the program that you
yes, that'd be great.
On.
And it's just go ahead, John Michael.
Oh, pardon me for interrupting, but I'll pass the draft down. It's still a moving target, but I think we're getting close. So I'll just pass that down. And
we are having the Masters Academy there again with the drum and fife, or fife and drum, whatever you like. And of course, Vero Beach High School is going to be there. The ROTC. Sebastian's, I think that there was a scheduling conflict due to the fact that they have to have their own. So, but it's going to be very nice.
Other questions for Curtis? It's nice to have the young folks engaged because, you know, I can recall back as a kid, my dad had some friends in town that had participated in the Normandy landings. And I can recall just sitting there listening to the conversations. And it's surprising how much of an impact that makes on you later on in life as you look at what you want to do. But the coordination meeting, Rob left a note, is the 16th of October, so we'll have representatives, at least the Veterans Council will have representatives there as well for that.
See, maybe if I could point out something. Traditionally, Veterans Day is the 11th hour, 11th day, 11th month. That's what it should have been. But ours is at 9 o'clock, and assembly is at 8:30. And to get everybody on the island, even recommend coming a little bit before that for those that are watching on TV. So kind of assembly is the massing of the colors and the community coming together. And I think that's an important part of the day as the high school band plays and so forth. So the other reason I guess we moved it to 9 o'clock was those that really want to get in as much Veterans Day celebrating as they can make it to the Sebastian one at 11. And
the other nice thing is, I believe the muster for the SEAL Museum is on the weekend. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the weekend we'll have the SEAL muster assembly down in where's that, Pepper Park, next to Pepper Park there on A1A. And then on the 10th we have the Marine extravaganza out west of town. Yeah. And then on Monday we have the day trip and excursion. And then on Tuesday we have the Memorial Island and Veterans Day celebration there, and then I believe Sebastian will have one as well. So it'll be a good day.
Curtis, are we going to have the use of the golf carts?
Yes, yes, those are all squared away. There will be golf carts there, and the buses will be running. Joel's already gave me the okay on that, and our vocalist will be Dolores Chambers this year. So she's excellent voice.
And we mentioned earlier about the rains. So the grass on Memorial Island, once it gets lots of rains, it's good to bring your not so good shoes because it gets squishy sometimes. And so come early, bring your lawn chairs. But it's a delightful time with the band. And the insight for the speaker, Sergeant Major Brett, participated in the raid in Vietnam, which went in 1970 to liberate the POW camp, the Sante raid. And there's a direct connection with the island, again, because L.A. Hearst was a POW at the Cabanatuan POW camp in the Philippines, and a bunch of Rangers liberated that camp later on at the end of the war. So, you know, the legacy amongst the generations is there. Okay. Old business. Mr. Dexter, could you please come up and give us an update on the World War II monument?
Good morning, Don Dexter, Public Works. I called the vendor last week because I was really expecting to see our plaque returned, and she said they had a large order that was an emergency order, so we weren't forgotten, but we were bumped just a little bit. So again, she said we should have it in within 2 weeks, and it'll be all polished up and refinished, and that'll give us still several weeks to get it mounted and touch up the landscaping and whatever else needs to be done to get the memorial back in place.
Now, you're going to put it back in the same location?
Basically the same location. My thought was to move it just a little bit closer to the sidewalk and then do a little concrete pad similar to what we did with the Korean War Veterans Monument, so you could walk up to it and actually look at it.
Yeah. And it's going to be elevated so it's the same height as the other memorials?
It will be about, I think it's about 30 inches tall, so it'll be higher. The old one was only about 16 inches off the ground.
Right, right, okay. And bringing it forward will bring it away from that, whatever that is.
We're going to talk to Nanette, and she's going to trim up it's a silver buttonwood tree, and then touch up the other shrubs that are around there too.
I want to compliment you. The Cenotaph Square, it's got new rock on it, and it looks awesome. Really looks good. And I just, if you take a minute next time you're out there, double check the Lest We Forget monument, because I think maybe some of the seams might need to be, I don't know what you want to, whatever the monuments guys look at.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyway. Anything? Good?
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thanks.
The holiday will be here.
Yeah, don't blink. Veterans Day will be here.
Gracious.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Oh, my Lord. Okay. Chairman's Matters. I asked Rita to make copies. Fortunately, the Veterans Council has been asked to weekly participate with Bob Seuss. And when I chatted with him, he said, Tony, while you're talking about what's going on with the Veterans Council, could you just take the opportunity each week and highlight one of the guys off the island? And so what I've done is for the last 9th of September, 16th of September, the 22nd, identified 3 individuals. This week I had a pass, but the 3 are kind of timely because they're all World War II veterans. One was Charles Futch, and if you live in Sebastian, that name should jump out to you because the American Legion post was named in his honor. And if you go to the post, you'll see a picture of the plane. And the story goes that he was actually able to overfly Sebastian en route to the air base down in southern Florida before they deployed to England. And it was a B-17 Flying Fortress, and it's called the Barrel House Bessie. So I bet you the crew aboard that plane were a fine group of men. And in investigating it, he has a citation, which is, I think they're at the hall, from a General H. Arnold. And for folks that know the history, H. Arnold was Hap Arnold, and Hap Arnold was the Army general that fought the rest of the Army brass and raised hell in Congress to establish the United States Air Force. And so he's got a citation from him that recognizes his service. L.A. Hurst, Robert Hurst, again, he was a young man that went on the Bataan Death March and died of illness at the POW camp in the Philippines. He's from El Paso, and just an interesting story. And Robert Harlock was aboard a submarine that went down on its maiden mission heading to the Pacific. So that's there, and we're just each month, each day, trying to get the message out on the heroes that are there. So, members matters. Anything for the good of the cause?
I'm good.
Okay, John.
No, we already talked about the Marine Corps Ball coming up in case, and even though it's a Marine Corps Ball, we're going to honor all branches of the service. And I think that day it's really the only military ball in town, so everyone's welcome.
All right, and I noticed that the Marines have been highly successful in getting the word out. I went to the Corner Cafe over by Piper, and there's a poster right there that speaks of it. So, and then the Velde Ford service manager said that following week on the 15th, he's going to do a classic car show and donate the proceeds from that to the veterans of Indian River County. And he's a Marine as well. So if he doesn't show up, I'm sure we'll have a strike team. So.
He'll show up.
Yeah. Joel?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I don't know.
Ma'am?
I'm all set.
Okay, all right. That's it for Members' Matters. The next meeting, believe it or not, will be in November. And the date, Rita, you recall? The 5th of November, okay? So that's it. Thank you for joining us, and this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.